Let her talk.
Thank the lucky stars that old Susie up there. She's telling us when we can start talking because without her, I wouldn't know what's going on. We'd went up 50 episodes without her flapping her gums, but now she talks all the time.
Anyways, you push record, you know it's recording.
I hope. Anyways, 1420 Sports Podcast, 4 beer with a sports talk, and a whole lot more. Episode 117, July 7th, 2021. The Tampa Bay Lightning, about 8 minutes ago, won themselves a Stanley Cup, the second consecutive. Asterisks, parentheses, whatever you want to say, shortened season, bubbles, and the whole bit. They still got two. I think these Tampa teams, Dave, they're pretty good. First off, how are you doing, my friend? Before we get to the hockey stuff.
Doing excellent. Went out and watched some Little League ball tonight. The Astros, the dirty cheating Lethbridge Little League Astros, started the season 1-4, and now they're 5-5. They're playing some good ball. They've improved a lot.
The trash cans are taking a beating by the sound of things over at Dave Elton Park and Lethbridge or wherever they're playing. Anyways, Tampa Bay, like Vasilevsky, the goaltender, he got the MVP, the Conn Smythe Award. You got to admire a team that can win 2 in a row no matter what's going on. There's been some teams in the 90s that won. I think the only last, like Pittsburgh did it in 16-17, I believe. You got Chicago that won 3 and 5 years, and the Kings that won a couple. Before we get to that, Dave, if you won a Stanley Cup and you get your day with the cup, what kind of shenanigans is the Dave Van Robe's 30 years ago now, because you're 51, so 25 years ago, what kind of shenanigans would you have gotten up to with your day with the cup?
25 years ago? Oh, I imagine it would be lakefront.
Yeah.
That's where my days with the cup is going to be. It's going to be for family. It's going to be a long day for the boy. I might need a nap. Like wake up with it, with mom and dad, and tight. And then have the open house, and then have the backyard and beers and visiting and pictures, and do that with all your folks, friends, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then you wrap that up, let mom and dad visit with their friends. I go down for a nap because the boys are coming over at 6.
And then we're getting
I'm not going to bed. Period.
And then we're getting.
How's that for a descriptor?
I think that's pretty good. Is there a I don't. Yeah, geez. I think I would have mine in Fort McLeod. Yeah, for me, I think, Dave, it would be a day in Fort McLeod. There'd be a parade down Main Street, Fort McLeod. Short parade, it's pretty small Main Street. Party at mom and dad's place in the backyard. Round of golf, maybe, because we don't have the lake festivities. And then, like you said, there would be I don't know if there'd be a nap involved, but take her down to the Queens for the guys, for people I've known for a long time that are not part of the inner circle, but I've known forever. Maybe take it to the down to the Green Bridge for a different photo, not jump off the bridge like we used to as kids, but for a photo up on the Mackenzie Bridge going over to the other side of the river there, and then wind her up at mom and dad's probably, or at the golf course or somewhere else. But they're probably, actually, you know what? Probably the Elks Hall.
I was just gonna say, have that party at Elks Hall.
Party at the Elks Hall, where every single wedding and every single whatever happens in Fort McLeod is the Elks Hall. That's probably what the Fort McLeod Stanley Cup champion would look like.
Or at Daisy,
in my opinion,
or where they have South Country.
Yeah, down there. There might be something like that. It'd be quite the festivities with a lot of photo ops and everything else. That would be my deal. Congratulations to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Stanley Cup, 2 odd years of hockey, but you got it. Dave, the way they manipulated the cap this year, Kucherov didn't play, injured allegedly, and la-da-da-da-da, and you see a lot of other sports doing it. Is these maintenance days and having load management days, like the Raptors, they won a championship 2 years ago with Kawhi with his load management, and now you got Kucherov. hurt, don't play the playoffs. The elite guys are so good, Dave. Can they sit out not a season like Kucherov did, but can they sit out a season and jump in the playoffs and go, okay, jump in my back, let's go. I'm taking the promised land.
I'm wondering how that would work for a team. Like if that's your stated goal and it's completely within the rules. I never thought of this workaround until I saw the topics today. Why not? Like why not have like so just for math's sake, you got a guy making $1 million a game and got a got a guy making $200,000 a game. Then that guy can play 5 games and you can save your really good player. And
Like I
he's still
think the
getting
guy has to go in injured reserve or something, or else they could find a way to do it. There is ways around it. Like I'm not a capologist, but
no, I get that, but then like remember Las Vegas had to sit players because they didn't have
yes,
enough salary cap left. Why can't you sit those same players in week 3?
yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's odd. And the thing is, with baseball, they can sit guys out. It goes against their cap. And football, that's one sport you can't afford to have guys sitting out because you only get 16 tries, man.
17
And
now.
17 now, and if you go 10-6, you get a wild card, or you might win a division. You go 8-8, yeah, you're pretty tight.
You're gone. And then maintenance days, like it's football's a different football doesn't compare. But I think basketball and hockey are very comparable about load management and saving salaries. And
Because you think about it, the elite guys on every team, your top four, in hockey, you got your top 4 or 5 guys. Basketball, you got your top 2, 3, 1, maybe sometimes. If you make the playoffs, and it's pretty hard to not make the playoffs in those 2 sports because there's over half teams make it.
you have a lot of room for error, yeah.
And so you get in, and your big boy is rested, he's healthy. You got a shot, as Tampa Bay just proved with Kucherov coming up. He first round of the playoffs, he was fantastic. We're off a little bit, maybe some fatigue from his sea legs, I guess, came out. But
Here's a difference maker.
If he's a difference maker, so if you can have your big boys sit out for a prolonged period of time, why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you? Especially if you get salary cap relief, and then like you just roll with a huge roster, like in your capologist is saying, and your analytics guy. Okay, if we're gonna pick 3 games for Kucherov to be on the IR, it's these 3 games. Lower body injury, see ya. And now we get to play these 3 guys a tenth of his salary.
Like if you guys put him on the IL or whatever they call it now for 12 games, Tampa's going to make the playoffs. They're good enough without the guy.
Yeah.
Like it's fun.
Yeah, like it, and like I've said in earlier episodes, I'm not a Tampa fan. I was one of the first to say this is an asterisk on last year's cup, but to be as dominant as they did winning this year's cup,
Yeah.
like they've been good for 5 years. Like
that's just it. Like
they're a good fucking team.
They got swept by Columbus. I think it was 2 years ago. I mean, whatever, it happens, I guess.
Shit happens.
But to win 2, and they're in the finals not that long ago either. I tell you what, this team, they could win another one right now because you have a shortened off season. They do have some cap problems coming up. And why not go out and get a 3rd?
And remove all doubt, right?
And win one in a full season.
Yeah. And and like I say, like they've it's not their fault. The pandemic hit. It's not their fault. They just went out and did their jobs, and
somebody has to win.
And that was last year. I'll say that, but not this year. This was a fair shake for all teams involved. It was a legitimate playoff. It was a little different, but this cup is full marks, well deserved.
Well, the producer was saying that she didn't want the Leafs to win a Stanley Cup in this situation where people would say, "Wow, it was this year. You didn't really deserve it."
But they did it both now. Yeah.
So they did it both years. They did 2 different ways, and they've been in the finals in the year before that. And they, since 2004, they were in the Cup finals against the Flames, and then they were in another one, I think. And then so they're a successful franchise down there in Tampa Bay. And I don't blame players for going there because I tell you what, when I'm done practice, I'm not shoveling snow. Okay, I'm not paying someone to shovel snow. I'm not worried about the car starting. I'm not plugging my car in. I'm not doing any of that stuff. The kids are going to hockey practice in a nice warm climate. I'm not in like I'm signing it in a warm climate. We've talked this before in the podcast. I don't understand why all these warm weather teams aren't better.
When flip-flops are your everyday outdoor wear, like how can it be wrong?
Yeah, it's where you go.
Are you allowed to wear flip-flops to practice in? Or do you guys still dress
100%
up?
time, because you know what? The coach is too. The GM is too. Are you telling me Steve Eisman wasn't wearing shorts when he was the GM of Tampa Bay? He's got 80 sheets in the bag. You're telling me he ain't wearing shorts and flip-flops
You're
to
telling me
practice?
he was rolling like on the weekend maybe, but never during the week. Like he didn't always
Oh,
wear a tie, but maybe on the weekend or the off
golf
season he
short,
would have golf shorts with a
golf
brown
shirt.
belt, khaki with a
Oh yeah.
like whatever. Yeah, I could see it. But I'm
The old
seeing
man country club outfits, but Steve Eisman was wearing 365. Guaranteed.
maybe see. I don't know if he'd wear it into the office.
Game day, maybe not. But yeah, that's what he was wearing when he was playing there. Like it's crazy. Good on him. And they want Stanley Cup and see what happens next year. It's going to be a tumultuous, quick off season with the draft coming up in a couple of days. You got the expansion draft coming up in a few days, and then free agency with a flat cap. The one thing I thought about, Dave, I did this all by myself. Sometimes I don't always get my hot takes from other sports radio and everything else. This flat cap thing, I think it might be a fallacy because there's going to be a lot of full buildings with people being off for a year, not going anywhere. And there are some rich people who made a lot more money. The cap's going to go up. There's going to be people going to games that didn't go to games because 1 year off means 3 years of going and doing stuff. Does that make any sense?
No, I hear what you're saying.
So it might be the roaring 20s, which ended up being the really bad 30s back 100 years ago. But we might see a lot of money being spent with these athletes. This flat cap thing might not be a thing.
It is a gate-driven league, and we know that. But that flat cap thing is a bit of a head scratcher to me as well because Bettman just negotiated 2 huge deals with TNT and ESPN in the States. So
we'll get that in a second, but yeah, go ahead. Yeah, keep going.
And then the Canadian contract's going to have, like, I think it's, if not this year, then next.
It's there again. Yeah.
It's there again. The thing, but like not being the capologist and everything. With all the money the owners are going to claim they lost, and I don't know. I don't know how they do their books and all this kind of thing. The players have a huge amount of escrow payments coming up.
Yeah.
And like they say up to 30% of their wages is going back to the owners right now, like, or into the escrow fund.
Escrow fund.
So
it's still out of their pocket.
Yeah, it's still out of, but they're not getting paid on that. So I don't know exactly. I think like I don't know. So with the flat cap and huge escrow payments, why wouldn't you want to play in a no tax state?
Yeah.
Like I don't care. Sign me in Tallahassee,
Florida.
Yeah, or Vegas, right? Like it's you're pinching me already, and especially if you're someone that like fine, I'll playing for $2 million in Vegas is as good a deal as playing for $4 in Edmonton.
There you go. 1420 podcast. Congratulations once again to the two-time consecutive Stanley Cup champion, Tampa Bay Lightning. You want it. You can't take it. No one will take it away from you. Montreal, you had a hell of a run, but just not good enough. That game, like I said before we went on the air, that game could have went 3 more hours. Montreal was not scoring goal tonight. They just weren't. They weren't good enough to beat Tampa Bay. We'll have to go. If anybody can listen, remember what show it was. Maybe Dave and I will find it, or Jim can find it, and we'll give what our Stanley Cup predictions were. Dave said he had it written down. I don't remember what I said yesterday, let alone what our Stanley Cup champion or our predictions were 2 months ago. Let us know what we predicted, and we'll banter about that online for sure. Dave, I have a question for you, and I don't know why this came to mind again. I got a lot of time in my hand driving back and forth to Medicine Hat. The first time you bought a plunger, was it out of necessity, or was it for preventative maintenance?
No, it was to replace. So you know what? I don't know why. Yeah, like a plunger just always came with me. So I always had one, and I went from places. I always had one, and I've replaced one. I've never.
But the very first time.
The very first time I bought one was to replace one. Like,
so you got one from your parents maybe when you moved out of the house or something? Who knows?
Possibly, and I moved in with a couple of dudes the first time, so like maybe
so they may have had one or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it always like whenever I'm like over at Home Hardware over by the house here, when I see a person buying a plunger, that comes across my mind like, how much of a hurry is this guy in?
If you're in a hurry,
it's not like
you're buying at Canadian Tire or at Home Hardware on the west side.
Yeah,
I imagine Home Hardware has good plunger prices because no one's buying
university kids and stuff over here.
University
go get one.
And just the closest hardware store in Lethbridge.
Yeah,
sorry, on the west side.
I don't know how that came to mind, but it did. 1420 podcast. We only talk about sports. Brent, we talk about plungers too. I don't know why. I have no idea, but it's an interesting little conversation. Wherever we get your podcast, Dave, where do you get your podcast from, my friend?
I subscribe to this podcast on iTunes, but if I didn't, and sometimes when we're around somebody, I say, "Hey Siri, play 1420 Sports Podcast, please."
And she does everything she's asked to do. I don't use Siri very much, or ever. As you mentioned last segment, Dave, the NHL signed some pretty big deals with the ESPN and with TNT, and both networks went on to sign megastars, Hall of Fame guys. You got Gretzky, Messier, Chelios, guys that would never. I wouldn't put 3 of the 3 on TV because I'm a hockey. Like I know hockey a little bit, I guess, but I wouldn't put 3 of the 3 guys. But why did it take so long to put NHL Hall of Fame all-timers on TV where basketball and football seem to do on a regular basis? And maybe is that why hockey doesn't do it, because of our knowledge in Canada of hockey, and we all think we're smarter than the average bear. Do you know what I'm getting at? Like, why did it take hockey so long, and why hasn't hockey done count? Like, why is Kevin Bieksa this new megastar on TV, and Wayne Gretzky was never asked in Canada?
I think it's a new thing. This career after sports. Back in the day, like when I say the day, even like 15, 20 years ago, like if you had a Hall of Fame career, you were set up and you lived a very comfortable life.
Yeah.
And you were set up and you did whatever you wanted, like whether it be a business or whatever, your thing. But I think now players aren't playing it just to get to retired anymore. And in the States now, I think that the money is there, that this is actually a pretty good gig. Whereas the players that came on, like, the fact that Sportsnet had Kyprios on there, like, God, I couldn't understand
but
that.
I think that those guys, because it was a different era back then. I mean, Kyprios probably made I don't know what he made for his career, but for TNT and ESPN to be offering Messier and Gretzky especially, Gretzky's not starving, his kids aren't starving, his kids won't starve, blah, 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 blah. Are these guys getting offers they can't refuse?
Or is it because for the love of the game, and like Bettman might have even asked them to consider a job with TBS to sell the game? Because like Messier's running this whole big, huge thing in New York, the Belmont or something where they're building the new Islanders rink. He's one of the bigwigs of that organization.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Oh yeah, Mess is doing all right in the business world.
All I know about Messi, he's on those Tide commercials with Stone Cold Steve Austin and Ice-T. That's the only thing I know about Messi. Messier. Good funny commercials, yeah, but
yeah, with Tide or something like that.
Like football's got Hall of Fame guys that like for a long time. Bradshaw's been on TV for a long time. Obviously, he didn't make the money he's making during his playing career. He's making as a broadcaster. And Romo, he's making more money than as a broadcaster he did as a player. So I'm wondering why, like I said, why it took hockey so long. Foot or baseball has A-Rod and Frank Thomas, all these Hall of Fame guys. Whereas hockey, it took so long for them to become relevant guys.
Yeah, like we had Kyprios and Glenn Healy.
Yeah,
like they must have had better shit to do in Canada. The guys that we might want to hear talk.
Yeah, it's just odd that it took so long for hockey to do it. But it's hockey in the States that's getting these guys on. Hockey in Canada is not.
Yeah, but and then on that regard, right, when you hear those names, those are household names here. That's not making us turn on the game. If that's going to draw 20 more eyeballs down in the States, it's worth it, right?
Well, that's where these guys make all their money. They don't make money on gate sales or anything else. They make money on TV deals, and especially with ESPN, like how many billions of dollars the owner's making, right?
Well, it's the demographic they shoot for. Like I think hockey is like for ad space, right? It's upper class and predominantly white. Like that's a pretty good demographic down in the States.
A better one to have than the other one. So. Anyways, today the Tampa Bay Rays had 5 pitchers throw a 7-inning no-hitter. Jesus Christ. Why that's even news?
Because it counts towards 19.
Is that in your 19?
For sure. No-hitter's a no-hitter, buddy.
You actually, it's on air where you said the Madison Bumgarner one wasn't a no-hitter.
But that's a 7-inning one.
Yeah, this was a five Rays combined for a no-hitter in a 7-inning game because it was a doubleheader.
Oh, sorry. No, then it doesn't. I think we should that the two of them together should count as a half.
Dave, are we going to? Okay, I'll give you that. I'll give like you're half in a hole in a golf match. Are we going to get to a point someday? And this isn't even being ridiculous because even they have pitching staffs of sometimes 13 guys. Yeah, you don't pitch every day, but you know what? I don't think we're far behind seeing regular pitching staffs go 8 pitchers a game. Get through the first. Get through the second. Because all you're doing in baseball, and it's been 1,000 years old, all you're doing in baseball is burning outs. It's the first to 27 outs. So how far are we away from doing this?
Well, like just maintenance over the 162 games, right? Like you can't, like if that's what you want to spend your roster positions, but you need, just for the sake of longevity, someone that can go 4. Like maybe like have your starter and then like your second guy, let's plan on him going 4. So and then as far as salary management, now you don't need to spend $28 million, $40 million a year on an ace.
So what if you had a 3-game set and your minor league teams like the Yankees are in Scranton? Okay, we'll have 2 guys who go back and forth. We can have this salary and this salary. Why not? You get 3 outs every other day.
And then like, can you say burning outs is the thing? So like now I guess you would have to get the formula of dollars per out. And this $40 million guy gets you 17 outs every single time.
There's 2 guys in New York who don't do that anymore, but whatever. That's not a whole other story.
But that's the idea when you pay someone that much money. Right, like Kershaw, like how many outs? Like if you broke it down that way, that'd be an interesting thing. Earnings outs.
Yeah. Tim,
Like
that
not
sounds like a
innings
job for
pitched.
Tim to figure that one out. I don't have the time to figure that one out.
I lost my slide ruler a long time ago.
Yeah, my abacus is in storage, but it's weird how that it's happening more and more often where these like a 7 inning game they're using more and more pitchers because it's burning outs, and it's odd to me that it happens that way.
And I also think though too, like that kind of high school shit works in the regular season. But once you get to the playoffs and you're playing the exact same team on a 7-game series, they get to see some of that average talent every single game.
Well, it kind of goes against what I thought a lot too, Dave, is that the more human beings' hands you put into things, the more chance human beings will screw something up. Law of averages says like this human and this human and this human, one is bound to have a bad day. And that's in any way of life, not just in baseball and sport. That's just anything. You put a group of office people together, that something's bound to happen that goes wrong. Not everybody can be a cohesive unit every day. And I find that, like I just said, the more human hands to touch something, the better chance you have of screwing something up.
And the more times you see something, the more times, the better chance you have
of the other person of
picking something up. Because, like of this 8-man utility pitching crew that you're talking about, come playoffs, there's obviously some who are better than others. And you're going to trust more than others. And then all of a sudden, this guy that's not awesome, but really, really good, you're going to see that really, really good. It's like your third time through the order. Your third time you see him in a series. If your shit ain't great, it's gone.
And that's just it. One thing I heard, and this happened to minor leagues, it still does to this day, we're at the halfway point of the regular season in baseball. There's a lot of teams that are out of it that don't have a hope in hell. The minor league does this, Dave, and before you just poo-poo it and it won't matter. They have a first half division winner and a second half winner. And the way the playoffs happen, they play off each other. Would you be for that for some teams because already there's teams that are out of it. They may have run into injury problems, got guys coming back. Would it be such a bad idea to have a first half winner and a second half winner? Because already, not that the Arizona's Diamondbacks are going to come back and win the second half, but they're 40 games out. There's teams that are 12 games out that aren't coming back. They're just not. They could go on a heater in the second half and still not win. If you had a second half division winner and a first half division winner, would that help viewership and would that help attendance in Major League Baseball fields?
When the Calgary Cannons were a team in the Pacific Coast League, the AAA franchise for the Mariners, that's how the PCL did it. They had first half, second half. And I thought it was weird, but when I was a bit of a Cannons fan, I followed the Cannons and the Trappers a little bit. I saw both of those teams play live. It's not a bad point. I'm a baseball traditionalist. And so I'm not going to wave the flag for it, but I'm not against it. I think it's a good thing for the very reason. Fan interest, but that's the wild card. But now you get a reset, right? So now Pittsburgh and Arizona. So I don't know how you would do it with your wild cards, right? Or so maybe so every team that's a first and second, that wins both the first and second half. For every team that does that, there's one more wild card team created. How would you do that?
I mean, I threw this without doing any thought process on this, how we would go about doing it. But I know why the minor league does it. It's because they get call-ups, guys go up and down, especially in the lower levels where a guy pitches in A ball 1 week and also he's in AAA 2 weeks later, and the way players bounce around. I totally understand that.
And there's 2 pennant races now, right? Could you imagine if you were a half game up, but if you won that last game, you can sit fat and sassy.
Yeah.
And be in the playoffs. So maybe you don't like it for that reason.
But you might get a bye on the other half because you won the first half or something, whatever. But there's ways we should maybe do a little research on, talk about the end of the season, because there's teams that are out and they're not coming back.
You know, and as I'm the longer I'm thinking about it, no, I'm against it because these guys are now professionals. They're not looking to break into the league. It's not about generating fan interest because I would imagine that's why they do it on the minor leagues.
Yeah,
If you're a team of professionals and go out and suck ass or you have injuries, like
yeah.
sorry.
I think the minor league does it more because of call ups and everything else. I think that's why they do it. I don't think they do it for fan interest as much because they very rarely would a minor league team, a AAA team, start off with the same team that they finish with,
No, I want
and by no fault of their own.
yeah, no, but
Right.
you want asses on in the seats
Yeah.
too, right? Like those the owners of those, it asses in seats is how they make a dime.
Yeah, they don't get a lot of money from the
Not
parent
from the
club.
big club.
No, not at all.
No, no.
Anyways, he got the Rick Award last week. We're trying to give it to Otani every week, but there's just always seems to be a guy that comes up from behind. This week's award winner was Fernando Tatis Jr. from the San Diego Padres. That 3 home run night, the way he does a Rick thing once a week for sure, and I think that's his second Rick Award of the year, I believe. Quite astonishing that Otani hasn't won one, but good for him. Fernando Tatis won this week's. I got I had my 3 guys set, Dave. I don't know if you got one for the week, but if you do, let me know.
I don't.
You don't got one. You don't got one. Okay, pressure's on me again. Anyways, we got the College World Series MVP, Mississippi State, Will Bednar. He scored 7 innings, no hit ball. He got taken out. Mississippi State won, I think 9-0 was the final. He got taken out in the first batter got a hit when he was taken out of the game. So Will, you're the Rick Award nominee. Otani, just everything you've been doing again. Home run, he surpassed Hideki Matsui for the most home runs by a Japanese player in a season already, and we're at the halfway point. He's at 32 now. Matsui had 31. So Otani, you're up again, and you pitched a gem the other night. Man, he's good. And I got also, and then tonight, Sonny Gray, just tonight in the third or fourth inning tonight, he was getting lit up a little bit, walked a few players, went down the locker room, changed entire costume, socks, underwear, uniform, the whole bit. And he went out and come out and he struck out the 7 batters, retired the next 9 guys in a row. So that's my Rick Award nominees for the week. We'll put those up on the Twitter account. You guys have the vote for who gets them. I almost had a couple Vanderbilt pitchers in there. Kumar Rocker, and another name you might the last names might recognize, Dave, Jack Leiter. So Kumar Rocker and Jack Leiter, both
that Leiter kid has been playing. He plays for Vandy, and he's been lighting it up. Like
and I think he goes both second, third overall. He's Al Leiter's kid, ex-Mets and ex-Yankees pitcher. And Kumar Rocker, I'm assuming that is John Rocker's son. I don't know for sure.
Oh God, I hope not.
Well, I haven't done any research on that. Maybe I shouldn't have speculated, but they almost got a Rick Award, but they got blown out in the College World Series. But the drafts this weekend on Sunday. Major League Baseball is finally doing something right by having the draft, the All-Star game all wrapped into one, and the futures game and everything else. So baseball doing a service. So we got Mississippi State kid, Sonny Gray, and Otani for our 3 Rick Award nominees for the week. The other night we talked about eating nuggies and how many we could do possibly. Had some tonight. Deanne, she was wolfing them down. I think there could be 50 in her sights. Had a listener, Matt Torgerson, the equipment manager for the Lacombe AA Generals. I'm just reading his Twitter account here. Former broadcaster for the Langley Rivermen of the BCHL, writer for the Dub Network. He said 120, no problem in 10 minutes. He was putting that's a pretty lofty goal, 120 in 10 minutes. I don't know. Matt, we'd like to have you on the show. You can call in and let us know how you're going to accomplish that, because that's lofty, Dave.
That is a huge. Just think about it for 1 second. Stack 12 nuggets on a little pile, and now that is in your gut in 1 minute. Repeat 10 times. I don't think so.
He even got a little bit lofty. Like I'm not making fun of that, but yeah, he was dipping sauce. I think that'd be add extra filler in the gut. Like I like to finish that many nuggies. They gotta be. You need some dampness to get them down your throat. I get that, but you're adding those extra, lack of a better term, calories into your stomach. I don't know, man.
I like, you stack 76 dogs and buns in a grocery cart, and I would tell you that's impossible. But
someone did it.
I don't think anyone who's a non-professional competitive eater can do it. I don't think you can do it.
Matt, we're planning something off the air the other day. Maybe we'll get you on the air. You'll be the guest eater, I guess, when football season starts. We have a plan. We're going to try as many nuggies as we can before a football game. If we fall asleep, we fall asleep, whatever. But anyways, let us know. Get back to Matt. Thank you very much for following up on Twitter tonight. It was a lot of humor. Dave, the Euros down to the nitty gritty now, my friend. What do you got?
Well, it's Spain went down to the Italians in penalty kicks, so the Italians are in the finals. England had a extra time victory over the sweethearts of the tournament, the Danes. A little bit of controversy, but I didn't have time to really dig in, so I'm not going to comment. England, Italy in the finals. Since I was a little kid and started watching World Cups and European Championships, the two teams I have never had to cheer for in my life are England and Italy, and the soccer gods have made me choose. I always cheered against one of them. And the Italians, more than often, they got World Cups. I've watched them win World Cups. I've never seen England win anything, and I want to keep it that way.
Name something England's won.
They won the World Cup in like 1956-ish.
No, like in our lifetime, what's something on TV that we would have watched that England would have won? And I'm not being a while, like I don't know.
Andy Murray was a hell of a tennis player for a while.
Did he win?
Oh yeah, he won Wimbledon. He won the girl.
Oh, he did.
It was he was good. He was it was Federer, Nadal, and Murray, and then Djokovic took his place in that list.
Speaking of Wimbledon, we'd be remiss to not bring up Shapovalov. He's going to the semifinals now. Wow. Canadian tennis, like every once in a while, we Bianca Andreescu a couple of years back, she won. Shapo's doing it right now. I think it's great. I think it's fantastic.
I do as well. It's nice to have a presence like Canada on the individual the sports of specifically golf and tennis are actually relevant, and it's nice as a fan. You like seeing that maple leaf up there.
No, I totally agree. I get to our little music segment, or do you want to? We'll do music. Then I got some oh yeahs, oh no's.
Your show. I'm just happy to be part of it.
Be part of it. Anyways, the other night I was driving home after golf, and I had the radio on and window down and tapping the roof there, and I heard a song I haven't heard in quite some time, and I liked it when it was back in the early 2000s by a band that I thought was going to be huge and make a good run. Australian band by the name of Jet. And Are You Gonna Be My Girl was on the radio. And then they had that other song, Cold Hard Bitch. How a band could come out with those two fantastic rock songs when rock wasn't a huge thing back in at that time frame. And that's right in my wheelhouse. I like that kind of stuff. What happened to Jet?
I'd love to know that Are You Gonna Be My Girl was a hell of a fucking tune.
Yeah.
Yeah, it rocked. It had the beat. I liked it. Yours and my tastes are similar. Yeah, I wouldn't.
Cold Hard Bitch, exactly another good one. Like it was good.
Yeah, that Are You Gonna Be My Girl that's a mega hit.
Because they were on an Apple commercial or something, if I believe, or one of those something that was really big back then, back in 2001, 2002. It doesn't matter what year, but they were on a commercial and things and everything else, and then just gone.
Yeah, you need a mega hit every album, otherwise you're gone. So I imagine they put out another album, and then
I don't even know.
Well, yeah, I've it was a guy from it was a long form interview I listened to on some podcast with one of the guys from the Hip, and it talked about them like it wasn't until their fourth album
Yeah.
that they even really started catching on in Canada, and then like that gave them the momentum they needed, and then they had the career that they had. Because that's impossible these days. You're not getting a fourth album. You're not getting a third album.
Oh, fuck.
If
Bring
you
a
got a
third
hit on
song.
one, yeah. If you get a hit on two, then we will talk about three.
Because
You
now,
can't build, and then the pressure to put a hit on those as a composer, right?
because now you got guys putting hits out on YouTube by themselves without the record companies, who are like, okay, I can just do this by myself, and people are going to just pay me and not pay these companies. You know, so it's you got that going as well. The music industry's changed. There's no doubt about that.
But as to the Jet, no, fuck. I'll get a thumbs up to that.
Thumbs up. I like the where they went. Like
I don't. There's another band that was. I'm trying to think of them. There was but I have their CD. They're called the Virgins. They're out of New York, and they were fabulous. I heard them on something else,
Yeah.
but I haven't heard shit doodle of them since. And they had
weird.
some great tunes.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird how bands can just show up and have and just gone, and not even show up on a Dick Clark's Rockin' New Year's Eve like this, like how that happens sometimes. Like, oh yeah, I remember them or what. It's just odd how they can have these massive hits and make massive amounts of money for the record company, and then it's just over.
Well, what about like? Do you think Chumbawamba still tours and plays "I Get Knocked Down" like just all night?
That almost made it a night we were talking about really bad songs, and I thought about that afterwards. Why that didn't make the really bad song list, because that might be the worst one. I don't think they ever toured. I would hope.
I have no idea. Like, cause
Chumbawamba,
what was the Barbie girl band?
Aqua.
Yeah. So like, what do you do? Like,
They weren't
tour,
good
like,
either.
Does that hit support all four of them right now still? Like, if like on a just an average mediocre lifestyle.
Yeah.
A hit's a hit.
I think it would, because you got a hit, and then you can become a black, because I don't know the industry at all. I think you can become a producer because you know the business works, and you can benefit from it. Like you're not a millionaire, but you're a hundredaire, right? You know what I mean? Like it's like they're not working.
A mega hit is set for life.
Yeah, I think you're not working. Like you're not getting up at 5 in the morning. I don't know. It's odd. That Chumbawamba thing was freaking atrocious. It's just atrocious.
Terrible. And and everybody knows that song. What's the worst song? I Get Knocked Down or Who Let the Dogs Out?
I Get Knocked Down because I heard it more. Who Let the Dogs Out, I turned it off the second time. It's a way worse song.
Yeah. I Get Knocked Down is a better song. I'd rather I don't mind hearing
Chumbawamba more because I know it better.
And I don't mind hearing I Get Knocked Down as much as like I can't stand Who Let the Dogs Out.
We'll go back to a segment we started a couple of weeks back. I think, although like we said earlier on, Dave, the weeks are just turning into months, and it's just everything's going by so quickly. The older you get, the quicker it goes, Monday to Friday and everything else. But busy lifestyles. Oh yeah or oh no. Pretty simple. 7-inning double headers in the major leagues.
Oh yeah. Oh, on a condition. One ticket gets you both games.
So, okay.
So same ticket price.
Oh, you probably ain't getting that because the owners aren't taking. They want 81 home dates, right? So you're probably not getting that.
So do they clear the stadium, or do you have to present both tickets? Like, how do you do that?
Well, there is day night double headers, and there is some back to backs. There are different.
But what if I want to go to both games? And I want to just park my ass.
If it's a day night, you're buying 2 tickets.
And then I got to get out of the stadium and come back in with my next ticket.
And you probably aren't getting a discount for the 2 tickets.
9 innings in, please.
Well, there you go. Another one. Staying at a game until the end, even in a blowout. Oh yeah or oh no.
Oh no. Oh no. Why? Unless it's a playoff game and you want to just high five for a couple extra hours. If it's a regular season game and it's a blowout and it's like 7-2 in the third period, I am walking to the car and heating that thing up. I'm beating a rush.
What about a baseball game you weren't even really watching to what the score is like we were the other night? We stayed till the bitter end. It was a blowout.
But that wasn't because like the score
Like,
was.
if you if you go to the game to not watch the game for the social event, you're staying.
Right. Like well,
Right.
so like yeah, so we stayed not
But
because
if you're mentally invested or financially, not financially, if you're betting the game, you watch your degenerate gambler.
if you're there
anywhere.
for the game,
Yeah.
then you just go. And we were there for the game, but like that's what made it the perfect night. It was perfect, a little bit strong, but you know what I'm saying. It was a great night at the park because we were visiting and the baseball was going on, and so we could still watch even though it didn't matter.
Here's different, not sports related. Being the passenger in a vehicle with the windows down.
Well, I'm like, and that's an oh yeah or an oh no.
Oh yeah or oh no.
So I'm the passenger.
Yeah.
And I want my window down.
No, the driver puts them down.
Oh, puts them down for you.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no, oh no, man. Because there's noise and things, and if I'm in the passenger, I probably want to talk to the guy or listen to the radio, and you can't hear it because I'm getting older and my hearing's going. Yeah, I'm a heavy oh no guy on
Oh
that.
no, because then it's just wind noise and you can't hear anything. And then, well, like I like to chat, right?
Well,
like,
that's why we're on this
even when I'm
podcast now, but whatever.
When I'm running shotgun, I'm sure I've annoyed people over the years with it. If I'm running shotgun on a roadie and the music tunes are playing and I got a story, I don't ask. I just reach over and turn it down so everybody can hear me.
I can't remember who it was. You might have been in a vehicle with me. My side, your side, one of those things. They don't touch that knob. Like this is my side. That's your side. Yeah, don't. Another one for you. Blue Oyster Cult.
No. Don't Fear the Reaper. Like, can go away. It's just so average.
I don't think it's average.
Well, I heard it, and they're Canadian, clearly, right? Otherwise, we never even know.
Are they really?
They must. Otherwise, I wouldn't know that song.
I don't know that at all. Like, I really don't.
I can't. Yeah, I honestly, I don't know that for a fact either. But I don't ever remember seeing them on Letterman. I don't or anything American. I don't remember hearing them on the radio in the States.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm looking that up shortly.
I got two more. Award shows.
Oh no. I used to like him as a kid and maybe keep him on for the blue hairs or the no hairs.
Yeah.
But not me. I could give a fuck. It's nothing. I don't see any of the movies anymore. I don't listen to any of the music anymore.
Yeah.
Like it's excuse me, it's not for me. Even the NHL awards. Oh yeah or no.
Oh yeah, I don't watch that.
Like
I don't watch the NHL awards. Like
yeah. Fuck that.
The last one. You probably don't. I don't know if we've known each other a long time. I don't know if you ever did. And this one, there's guys at work that do this still, and it boggles my mind. And I got friends that I've known forever, and dads that I've known forever, and la. Chewing tobacco.
Oh no. The day has passed.
Have you ever?
Yeah, well, just like to try it. Like someone had some and I put some in. It was actually kind of tasty. Like but the inconvenience and all that shit flying over my like not
Hawkins
flying.
Hawkins or Copenhagen? What was your
Oh no,
poison?
that stuff. Oh, like so chewing tobacco is what I consider like the red man. Remember the red man
The
pouch?
wad. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. So
but then
snuff.
the snuff, the chew, the dip.
Yeah.
Uh I personally like Hawken the best.
Yeah.
And I've maybe bought 10 tins in my life.
I
And
heard
if
it's like $32 to $33 a tin now.
it's I don't know what it is, but I got buddies when I go down to the States, I bring logs back from because two like a log is 6 or 8, I don't even know. But after 2 tins buying it in the States, it's cheaper than buying it. And one time I got caught for duty. I had 2 logs for my buddy, and he goes, "This is for personal use." The guy at the border. I went,
Yeah.
"Yeah." He goes, "Well, you're only allowed one." He goes, "Well, you have two." I go, "One for me and one under my wife." So she's gonna use this log, and like it's like no, fuck, of course not. And he brought me in and paid, and I had to write a fucking thing, pay chip off some duty.
Declaration
I was
something.
pissed. I'm like, come on, like wink, wink, nod, nod. Just let me go. We all do this. That's
Yeah.
like when you're in Canada, you come back with cheap beer and tobacco.
This is the horse you're gonna die on, or
It's
the hill
yeah,
you're gonna die on.
exactly.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, it's what you got to do. Like, if not for you, at least for your friends.
The Canadian border is such a funny situation every time you come across. Like you just want to go home. Like when I go across, I'm usually getting into her for a few days or whatever. I just want to go home. Just what? Okay, I bought a shirt. Like just I want to go home, man.
But you know what? I'm not going to besmirch the good folks at was it
Canadian Border Services Association,
Yeah, thank
CBSA.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Oh, I
they're
get
really
it. They
they're
do a
really
good job.
pretty
I
good,
get it.
and they're familiar with us. Like, because I've crossed the one border crossing like honestly 100 times.
Yeah.
They're familiar with us. We're familiar. Like, we don't not going to exchange birthday cards.
You're not blatant
They
about things, though.
No, exactly. It's my wife, myself, and my son, and we're coming home from a week in Montana. Like,
Yeah.
and so what do you got? This and that. I hope none of them are listening, but you know what? You can buy a Texas Mickey going down at the duty free store. You can buy a Texas Mickey of Weiser's, my whiskey,
Yeah.
for $45
Why
Canadian.
wouldn't you?
Why would you?
Yeah.
But then you got to bring it home, and you're not only allowed to claim 1 liter. Anything to declare? Case of beer and a bottle of whiskey, and so the case of beer is like a 36 pack,
Yeah.
and the bottle of whiskey is a Texas Mickey.
Find a way to usurp the system, Dave. Attaboy.
It's not lying.
It's not.
It's not lying. It's not lying.
Yeah, I got caught not lying once too. There, we'll end this right away here. But me and my brother.
We were rambling.
No, no, it's funny. Me and my brother coming back from Vegas, and the border girl said, asked me. She says, "Were you guys around drugs this weekend? We're in Vegas," and I told the truth. Like I said, probably. I should have just said no, but I said probably. I said I don't do drugs. I'm not a drug person, but I probably.
This is in the airport in Calgary?
No, driving from Great Falls to back to Lethbridge.
Oh, okay.
I said probably, and she's like, "Get in here, boys." I'm like, "What?" So we went inside. She goes, "Well, you would know if you're on drugs." I said, "No, I wouldn't." I said, "They could have been in his pocket. The guy could have been high. I don't know. I don't know." I said, "I probably was. I was at craps tables. I was at a roulette table. All kind. I should have just said. I told her I should have said no. I don't do drugs." But the answer was probably. She didn't like that very much. Stupid on my behalf, being a mouthpiece and whatever. But
you just wanted to get home, and now you just cost yourself.
I cost me myself 45 minutes. They searched the vehicle, found nothing. But anyways, love the Canadian Border Services Association or agency or whatever you want to call them. Anyway, Dave, fun show tonight. Baseball game this weekend. Weather's supposed to be okay. Summertime is here. Time is right for dancing in the streets. We got what do we got here in left? We got Street Wheelers is on. There's fireworks on Friday night to commemorate Stampede. the opening of Alberta and all kinds of stuff. But
and a bar at the exhibition grounds apparently too.
What's that?
There's a sanctioned barbecue event.
I saw that actually.
Yeah. I just heard about it today for the first time. A sanctioned barbecue competition going on at the exhibition grounds.
Oh,
apparently.
geez, I'm going to have to get my grits and ribs in me and everything else. Might be a good time. There's lots going on throughout Canada, throughout the world, throughout where we're listening. We got some different listeners from all over the place. Kind of surprised me to look at the old map today. But anyways, Dave, fun show tonight. We touched on some enlightening subjects, touching some that not so enlightening, but a lot of fun nonetheless.
Go to that barbecue contest. What do you get? You have 3 items: corn on the cob, brisket, chicken, beef ribs, okay,
Ribs?
so here we go. So what's your protein? Beef ribs, pork ribs, or chicken at the barbecue competition?
Pork ribs and chicken.
And then coleslaw or corn on the cob or cornbread?
Slaw.
Oh, I love cornbread.
Oh, really?
Oh, I love cornbread. You give me good pork. You give me a good anyone. Like the protein, I'm just gonna look at and see which one I like. But whichever one I do get, it's with cornbread.
Awesome. 1420 podcast. She was a good one tonight. Jim will get it out there. He's got a big show in Parksville this weekend. Actually, his first solo show. I can't remember what pub it's at, but good luck to you, Jim. We wish you the best. You can stream it on his Instagram account. We'll maybe link it up to ours and our Facebook and Twitter accounts. And we can all watch the show. And good luck nonetheless. Take care of each other, but more important, take care of yourself. Keep your stick on the ice. And what else, Dave?
Don't swing at high pitches. I hope you had a good night tonight, Jimmy. Good luck, buddy.
Good luck on the show on Saturday.